It's Carmen, and today I am going to show you how to do a perpetual calendar. I had done this practice one earlier, and my daughter totally claimed it because she loves it. I'm going to put magnets on the back because she wants to hang it up in her locker at school. I had started this project earlier. I made the rings and an initial pour of the other molds. We're going to do a second pour of the resin for the perpetual calendar, and I will show you that step by step. On your screen, you will see a list of items you need for the resin project. These items include gloves, eye protection, mask and or well-ventilated area, measuring cups, stirring implement, resin molds, chemical to make resin, paper towels, and a timer. Here I am filing out the edges for the sharp spots and the rough edges. I was using a nail file because these pieces aren't going to affect the look of the perpetual calendar. I did snap off as many extra chunks as possible, and one of these rings had a big chunk that I needed to cut because it was a lot to file and it wouldn't snap off. I do have a little electric grinder, but I couldn't find it that day, and I thought maybe my daughter may have taken it somewhere. So I just used the nail file. And my girl Hearts wanted to say hi. Now I mixed up a new batch of resin to finish what I had started with the perpetual calendar. I measured half a cup of what hobby products call A. And then after I wiped out the cup, I measured out the other half, which is called B. B is thicker than A. A is thin, almost like water. See how thick that is? Now notice how in the beginning this is cloudy, icy looking. This will change when the resin is completely mixed. Resin needs to be mixed for 4 minutes to make sure that it's completely mixed. Having these two ways to double check that it's completely mixed gives us a better chance of a good batch of resin. If you notice that I had that popsicle, that craft stick, which I started with, but this is a bigger batch, so I switched to my small silicone spatula. When stirring, make sure to get all the sides and scrape the spatula, and make sure you get the bottom. Don't stir it like you do for a cake batter or scrambled eggs because you don't want to add all that air into it. You just want to stir it gently. And the video is sped up a little. Notice that I'm wearing gloves in the video. This is because you don't want to touch resin to your skin when it is soft, because it's toxic. I change my gloves frequently too because I don't want to spread the resin goop all over my work area. So you see I've stirred it for several minutes now and it has changed from cloudiness to clear. There's lots of bubbles, but those bubbles will rise to the surface as it sits. And more safety notes are you need to be in a well ventilated area. For example, I have a fan going. I have the doors open to the rest of the house, and in the summertime, I open up the windows in the room I'm in. And there's windows on every wall except for where the door is, too. It's always a good idea to read the instructions and warnings that came with the resin chemicals that you bought. I poured the resin to fill the rest of these molds. My table was bowed in the middle when I poured the original, and this caused the resin to dry wonky. So I flipped them around for this pour, and this second pour should level it out. I hadn't used this particular table for resin before, so I hadn't realized that it wasn't level. Once I'm done pouring resin into the molds, I take my alcohol inks to add color to my project. I did take my gloves off again so that I don't get the resin on other stuff. But you don't want to touch your hands in the resin. I put some random drops around because I'm going to do a swirl effect. If you remember those circles that you saw me working on earlier in the video, those circles go inside these two moon shapes. Now back to the ink. Initially I had done some white and all of my shades of yellow and all of the oranges, but this time I'm just going to add one white, one yellow, and one orange. An easy and cheap way to help get rid of the bubbles is to use a candle lighter. I'm going to go through and get some of these bubbles out now in the video. Hearts, are you super cute? Are you super cute? This is the next day and they're completely hardened, so I am taking them out of the molds.